Today, I'm with Shani. She is the co-founder and the creator of Sintati. Shani, it is nice to meet you. So tell me your story. How did you get involved with coming to craft?
Well, my mom and I started doing flea markets when I was like 5 years old. So we would go and I would help her set up like booths and we would sell clothes, old jewelry, we hand make jewelry together. And then around high school, I started making myself teas. So I started making like hand mixed tea ingredients, like just dried herbs. And I thought, oh, I could sell this. And so I just started selling that at markets that we were going to. And slowly from there, I just started selling all my crafts because I can't keep all of my crafts in my house. I'll have to like live in a cupboard and my crafts will take my bed. But slowly I started having some health issues and I started making my teas more centered on that, which is why I only have three flavors or three right now. You could have a purpose. So my original was this one made for blood circulation because I have issues with blood circulation. That one's for heart health. And then that one is for sleep and allergies. And I just slowly wanted to start making things to help people. That isn't just all medication. Medication can have a lot of like side effects and stuff. And tea has less side effects. Sometimes you just get more caffeine. But it slowly started from just me hand making it by myself in my room to now my husband helps me and my mom helps me. And we ended up having like a big production out of our house. So I started with that, but most people aren't super enthused to buy teas all the time. So I just also started adding my crafts to the table to try to help fund the tea side of the business, which is this, where I hand felt miniatures in jars. So I'll have like a bunch of systems and stuff. But these are just kind of fun for me to do, kind of meditative when the tea side gets stressful. And you just kind of take a tiny felt needle and you just do the top, kind of figure everything out and glue it. And this one I put a little glitter in to make it look like it snowed. But it takes a lot of work. Although this one took the most work because it's so skinny on top. To fit it all in was kind of a pain. So I love doing miniatures, but it's hard to do like the big miniatures with like the plastic and the resin and stuff. So I just felt would be the easiest and most cheapest to get into.
Wow. So Shane, that's a lot of things to say. But let's go back to this. And then we can talk about the miniature later, okay? I want you to tell me, how does someone make tea? I have no idea how I would begin. How does the process work?
I buy my dried herbs from a bulk store or a bulk farm, and then I'll slowly go through the process of adding in amounts of different herbs. So with Centered Classic, I started adding in I started with a base of Rubius red tea, and then added the spearmint and lemon balm. I tried peppermint first, and I had my test subjects, which was my boyfriend at the time and his roommates, and I was like, "You're my guinea pigs. You're gonna drink this and see how they felt and stuff." So it's mostly trial and error of different flavors and different like effects you want. For this one, I wanted something that was good, hot and cold, and was like warming and cooling. Because sometimes you can be like really, really hot, but your hands and feet are freezing. Or you're really, really cold, but your hands and feet are like your body is just overheating. And so I wanted to find something that just kind of balances the temperature of your body. So it's mostly just trial and error and adding in different quantities of the herbs.
And you say you learned that mostly your health issue pushed you to go organic, and you learned this in the process. And obviously, you had experience going to craft with your mom, and you just slowly started doing your own thing to the craft show. How did you find those craft shows?
They're all very different. There's it depends on if you want to go to big craft shows that are corporate or small craft shows that are run by small people. Corporate tends to have a lot more organization and a lot more like rules. So they'll be like, you can only have this certain color of tent and you can only have this table, all that stuff. And the smaller single person organized craft shows have less rules and more personality to them. With small craft shows though that are owned by one person, there can be a lot of drama. I was at a craft show. I was doing a craft show that was organized by one person, and they didn't know how to organize it properly, and so there was a lot of drama with them blaming vendors for their mistakes, and so I stopped going.
Yeah, I think I went to a craft show maybe a couple of years ago, and the organizer did not map where people need to go. And when people starting unloading, they start picking up location, and people can get really pissed off about that. Um, I guess you have to be careful on the market you go to. I know some vendors, whenever they go to a market, if they pay $50 to be at a market, they try to maybe double or triple uh the revenue. Well, to try to this is how they charge it. How do you how much do you pay for a market, or and how do you know is it gonna work? You've been going to pay the money. Do you have a judgment?
I try to go to markets that cater to what I have. Because to me, a lot of people don't like to buy tea, especially in Utah. It's worth it to me if I can even just sell one thing. So that's why I started with the craft side of stuff and the teacups to try to make it at least even out. If I can make the money back on what I paid for the booth, it's worth it to me to at least get the publicity of my stuff out there.
Okay, interesting. If if that is the case, are you trying to go to the craft show mostly for marketing purposes? So they can go to your website and buy things? Is that the reason?
It's mostly to talk to people.
Okay.
I do a lot of uh of like custom blends. So I try to find people who need that.
Okay.
So they're not most of the time those people aren't really searching for custom tea blends for my health issue on like Google. That's not gonna come up with anything. But if they find me at a craft show and get my phone number, it can be a lot more personal to make a custom tea blend and gain their trust to get them to want a custom.
So you're like a personal trainer, but for the mind, for the body.
Yeah. Yes.
I was saying we were gonna turn over to the miniature. You are telling me how you make them. Can you explain how do you get all of those little things inside there?
Patience. So much patience. That one is a little janky, but it was one of the hardest ones I've done because the top was so skinny. To get everything in here, it was without destroying it was a bit of a process. I take really, really long tweezers and I have to like hold it and try not to stick to the sides with the glue. This one was more of a glue than felting because my needle can't hit the bottom of the jar.
Speaking of patient, time consuming, this is craft. I think some vendors struggle on high price thing, right? Because you cannot find this on Amazon.
No.
It's just unique. How do you decide how much to price your item?
How much work went into it and how well it came out. There's a few things like these that didn't take me long, but they're one of my top sellers. That they have a little potion inside. Oh, and they sparkle. And this one I price at 12 because it's mostly the price of the product. The glitter inside costs quite a bit, but that balances out the work versus the jars, which I price around 20. It takes me about an hour for each jar.
How do you? I think there's two type of customer that come to the craft show. They are the first type of customer are the one that know they are the regular. They always come. They always want to buy some homemade items. And there's a second type. Those are the type that they don't know what they're getting into. And when they start walking around talking to vendors, I feel like they get a price shock. They react very, whoa, that much. Um, how receptive are people are when you tell them, no, this is the price?
They're more receptive to the teacups, actually,
Oh,
which is funny because these are all antiques. And I think it's because they look factory made, and there's less imperfections in factory work than hand craftsmanship. And most of the time, when people come and they're like shocked by the price, they're expecting factory quality and not custom handcraft, which can mean our stuff is sturdier than factory stuff, but it's not going to be the exact same every single time.
I thought on it. Did you say people buy those teacup a lot? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, people love the teacups.
Where do you get those teacups?
Well, my mom and I
Your
were
mother?
my mother. She did antique like fine china collecting and selling. We got into it from a neighbor, and so now both of our apartments have hundreds of fine china, and these are the ones that either don't have a matching set or aren't that expensive, like this one. This one is a copy of a high-end brand, but it was made in Japan. So you know how there's like Pikachu, and then there's the like Wish version of Pikachu. This is the Wish version of Pikachu. So this was actually a print called Lavender Rose from this brand, uh, Royal Albert, but it got so popular that a bunch of knockoffs came in. So I take the antiques that most people would throw away or collectors would like trash, so it doesn't go into a landfill or it doesn't get donated and destroyed. I take them and try to sell them to people who won't be snooty or uppity with their fine china, and so that they can get a loving home.
Oh, wow, that's a lot of message.
I have a lot. Yeah.
That's a lot. Uh, you've been at the craft show since you were a little girl. You are one of experience. What are some mistakes you feel like something the new one make that you wish they would have avoided?
Thinking that it's consistent. It's kind of like stand-up comedy. You're not going to get big very fast. It's not going to be the same every single time. Sometimes you're not going to make any money, and sometimes you'll make a bunch of money. Sometimes your booth will look fantastic, and sometimes your booth will look terrible because of the circumstances. It's a very fluctuating thing. So don't expect perfection every single time.
Totally. I think like if you, today the ground is very even. Because I've been to market where my table is uneven. I cannot really put my stuff, and it's windy. Um, and I think sometimes a new vendor can struggle when they realize they spend so much time making this stuff and they go to a market and people don't pay attention to them as much as they would want to. They feel very, uh, I guess, discouraged and take it personal because they value the items. I think it's critical for them to realize, uh, yes, you make your item, but at the end of the day, you are a business. And the business you have to try to sell, try to convince people why your product is good. You're just another business out there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Uh, if someone is watching this and they want to drink some good tea this winter, where can they find you?
I have an Instagram at Centaur Tea, and it has that logo. It's just black and white. You'll see pictures of my booth. You can either reach out to me there, or I have gotten business cards now and haven't had time to buy more. But reach out to my Instagram, and you'll find a link to my website and my email.
And they can go and order some stuff and talk to you. Well, Shani, thank you for talking to us. And I hope this weekend you're successful.
Me too.
All right, good job, Shani.
Thank you.
Yep.